Hey, you guys, let's talk about healing your story because it is so important to heal your story. When you have a healed story, you're able to navigate your dreams more effectively. You're able to actually embody your actions on a deeper level. You're able to actually create the sales funnels, the leads that you need to show up to the gym like you need to take care of yourself and actually want to do these things, not out of shame, out of desperation, but because you truly want to. So, what's the difference in those energies that I just brought about? What's the difference between showing up, let's say, to the gym when you really want to? When you're like, ooh, I'm so excited to move my body. I'm so excited to get in here versus when you're doing it out of shame, versus when you are doing it because if you don't, then you won't feel worthy. Or if you don't, then, you're going to punish yourself. You're going to be so annoyed at yourself. And so look at where you are navigating the embodied actions, aka going to the gym, creating the task list, doing the projects, along with what your story is. And the thing is that this is very nuanced to understand is that there can be a story of, oh, I am disappointed in myself that I haven't shown up to the gym. But the story underneath that can be, okay, that's no problem. We're going to change that. And that is the story that really matters. Noticing if there is misalignment in your life, if there is something that you dislike in your life, not making a problem out of it, truly just seeing it from what it is. And something I want you guys to realize is that what is truth? Think about this for a second. What is the truth? How can you be sure that something is true? Is it because it's from your perspective? Is it because of what's the analytical data? Is it because something has been proven in science? Or is it because you decide that it's true? If you decide what is true, if you choose your story, then you can create the proof in the world. You can create your reality. You can create the identity, the embodied action that will embrace your next level identity, that will break barriers for you, that will get you to the higher income months, the higher creativity. So let's do an exercise here and now to kind of identify any limiting beliefs that have been sticking around. And we're going to do a holistic overview of this. But first, I want you to just take an inventory of today. What is the story of your inner voice? What is the story that you've been telling yourself? Have you been telling yourself stories of comparison, of jealousy? Have you been telling yourself stories of resilience, of courage? Have you been telling yourself that you can do this, that this is easy? Have you been telling yourself that, oh my God, I have to do this? Or, oh, I'm going to do this because so-and-so told me it was good. What's underneath that? If you slow down for a moment and actually inquire about this, what is the underneath life force energy that is powering up, recording things, showing up to your calls and things, like showing up to actually do things? What is the underneath motivation to show up and do that? That is where the gold is. So for the past 24 hours, take an inventory of every single thought, every single inner voice dialogue that you have had. Taking inventory from the moment that you woke up. What was the first thought that you had? What was the second? What was the fifth? And continue going. We have so many thoughts in our head every single day, and we bump from one to another. We choose which thought that we are settling into. Notice how right now, if you want to think about a cow, you will think about a cow. If you want to think about living on a farm and, feeding cows, then you can imagine that right now. You can choose that thought. If you, and at the same time, how you can imagine that reality. As you know, anyone who's in the subconscious knows that the brain cannot tell the difference between imagined and reality. And so again, what is truth? If your brain can't tell the difference between what is imagined and what is reality. On top of that, at a level of, if we think that we're choosing our truth based off our perspective, our memories are so skewed, you guys. If you look at a lot of your past memories and ask different people's perspectives, you may find different varying degrees of truth. You may find, oh, like that was a little bit different. And so what story are you choosing to tell? What's the interesting story that you want to tell if you are choosing your story? Like I said, one of my stories that I have had for a long time is that things need to be hard, that you need to endure to the end. And so something that I've been navigating in my work life is this changing this story because it was no longer serving me. How to know when you need to change your story is to know when it is no longer serving you. This story that I need to endure, that I need to suffer in order to make things happen, in order to be abundant, successful, creative, peaceful, happy, that I need to struggle at some point. What if there's a reality? What if there's a story where maybe there's some discomfort, but there's no longer struggle? It's no longer difficult. What if you are living in a healed body? What if you no longer have pain? What if you no longer have resistance in showing up to what you need to do most? What if you are so excited to show up and do those tedious tasks that actually create a huge difference in your business? What if you're so excited to love, accept, and take care of your body completely? How are you going to show up to your tasks differently? And so I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take an overview of some of the beliefs that have been running in your head for different areas of your life. Let's begin with the body and just take an inventory right now. What are the beliefs that you have about your skin? What are the beliefs that you have about your blood? What are the beliefs that you have about your body, your organs, your bones, your joints? What are the beliefs that you have about your stomach? What are the beliefs that you have about your throat and your face and the appearance of your body? Take an inventory of the loud inner dialogue that comes up when I mention these parts of the body. Are they stories of resilience, of unconditional love, or are they stories of self-shame, of disconnection? You choose your reality. And so if you choose your reality, then you get to choose your story. So if you have been telling yourself stories that you dislike parts of your body, it's simply, it is as simple as starting to choose a different story. And we'll get into how to do that a little later on, but let's take a holistic over of what other limiting beliefs are hanging around besides just in the body. Take an inventory now of your relationships. And I want you to take an inventory of how you relate with your family first. Your family, are you connected with your family? Are you able to speak your truth? Are you able to have conversations? Are you able to accept them? Are you able to accept them? That is the most important one. Are you able to accept them? Moving into friends. Do you have connected friendships? Do you feel supported, connected, and held by your friendships? Do you feel like you can speak your truth? Do you feel excited to show up? Do you feel joyful in your friendships? Go into your partnerships, whether you are single and how you relate in, calling in a partner, or your relationship with being unconditionally happy with yourself, having that partnership with yourself. And if you are in a relationship, obviously, what is your relationship with your partner? And so connect to that. How is your relationship here with your partner, or the embrace of yourself? Do you love and accept them completely? Do you love them unconditionally? Do you allow them to show up in their own free will without having to control them? Do you show up and speak your truth? Are you vulnerable? Are you truly creating the life of your dreams? Are you connected? Are you happy? Are you joyful? And moving into the relationship with yourself. What is the relationship with yourself? How do you speak to yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you embrace yourself? Do you accept yourself? Are you excited to be you? Are you excited to live life? If you had the ability to keep living life in this era, in this experience, would you continue to do so? Would you be so thrilled to show up every single day? Are you able to be present with yourself? Are you able to connect with what you truly want? How's your relationship with your intuition? Asking yourself these questions are so important because it allows you to identify any limiting beliefs that have been sticking around and, call them out. Maybe you have thought of a few, but give it some time, attention, and space here and now to look at the beliefs that no longer resonate with your next level identity. So we've taken inventory of all the limiting beliefs that maybe have shown up in some parts of your life. Let's just start with those: relationships, self, and your body, because those are the biggest ones. And that's what percolates into business. That's what percolates into how you show up in your legacy, which we'll cap off at the end. But think about those limiting beliefs. You have been running those narratives in your head for probably longer than you even know, probably longer than you're even aware of. And you wonder why you're stuck in a plateau. You wonder why it's difficult to create passion, to create abundance, to create success. What stories do you want to believe? What stories truly resonate with you? And not just like, oh, what do you want now? Like, tell me what you want here and now. Like, tell me what you want. Like, like, no. Connect to your heart space. What do you have to give to the world? What beliefs, what perspectives, what narratives do you want to sink into to embody your authentic self? To embody a narrative that is truly yours, that is your unique path, that is connected to the most fulfilled, authentic, connected self. What stories do you want to tell? So we've identified our limiting beliefs, choosing which ones to no longer connect with, and rewriting those, flipping the script. And if there's anything that has a lot of evidence, let's knock those out. So I shared mine was for me in work. One of my stories was that you have to struggle in order to be successful. Specifically, this was in work. Like, it has to be hard. You got to work like 100-hour weeks. And, you got to endure till the end, like if you're going to make it happen. stories from religion, stories from family, stories from society. That's where I picked that up. I didn't I didn't come into this world as a baby and have that story. I wasn't, so that was imprinted upon me at some point in time, and it's no one's fault. That was my journey to experience that. And if I didn't experience that, it wouldn't have culminated into the vocation that I am today. It wouldn't have culminated into me being a holistic healer and empowerment coach. It would have created a different life for myself. And so I'm truly grateful that I have lived that story of pain, that I've lived that story of struggle. But now that I realize it no longer resonates with me, one, I have to choose to rewrite it. I have to choose to impose a more empowering narrative, which is that I am deeply capable of success. I am deeply capable of showing up in joy, love, and trust in my work. And so, the story used to be that I have to work 100 hours in order to be successful. And the thing is that I wasn't even working close to 20 when I had this story. And that's what's crazy, is that when you have these very shameful narratives, sometimes you rebel at the opposite, and then you procrastinate and you don't show up at all. So, why are you holding on to that story if you're not actually doing it? So consciously choosing, what is my story going to be? My story now is I show up in joy for my work. I am excited to show up in my work. My story is now that I efficiently create in my work. That's something that is the most true to me, and I have a lot of evidence to back it too. Just like I thought I had evidence to struggle in work, I also have evidence that I am extremely efficient. I am extremely powerful when I am in deep flow with myself. And that is the narrative that I want to catch on to. I also want to catch on to the ability to create systems that, that create cheat codes, basically, automations for myself. I want to create pathways that make my life a lot easier. And there may be times where it's uncomfortable, where it feels like, I'm going to have to change what I'm doing in the morning, or I'm going to have to change what I'm doing in the afternoon, which is uncomfortable at first. If you're used to laying in bed until 10 a.m. or used to laying in bed until even 8 a.m., but you're in a season where you need to create, choosing to show up in joy for your work at the hour that gives you the most power. That rhymes. But changing your story in that. So right now, for example, it's 9:30 and I've already recorded a bunch. I've already been working for a couple hours because this is when I am in my most flow. This is when it's the most quiet in my house. And so I use this time to my advantage. I'm deeply excited to. I'm not doing it because I feel shame that I need to work so hard. I'm doing it because I'm truly excited to show up here and now. That's my story. And that story empowers me to actually be prettier when I show up, to actually have more presence, to actually have more flow. And that's what really matters. So inquire to yourself, is that belief serving you? Why do you believe that? And see if you can dig a level deeper. Start to affirm to yourself, rewriting different narratives, create action plans that actually allow you to integrate that into your life. So that may be consistently rewriting your beliefs. That may include having subconscious activations, affirmations, meditations, somatic healings. These are all things that I truly believe in, because if you've had a long ingrained, especially identity story, it's so important to take an inventory of where it's holding on to in your body. Are you holding on to tension in your shoulders because of it? Are you holding on to some dis-ease because of a story of limitation, lack, or suppression? And catching on to what that is in the body, there's never going to be like a one and done approach to somatic healing. It is a continuous process of connecting with your nervous system, of connecting with your breath, of connecting with your subconscious through breathwork, hypnotherapy, release, different movements of the body, different tapping techniques. And it's important to add your own toolkit of how you connect to your body. For some people, it's enough to simply connect to their body in exercise. For others, breath work is powerful. For others, hypnotherapy is powerful. For others, intuitive movement is powerful. And so finding what works for you, getting really curious and creating an action plan to maybe try and sample what works for you is so powerful. And lastly, creating what your belief bank will be, your 5-star beliefs, what you truly want to embody in this next level of leadership, innovation, whatever you're calling in. So what are you calling in right now? What is your next season of work, of relationships, of your body? What beliefs go with that? What truly matters to go with that? Connect with that in every inch of who you are. So heal your story, heal your life. This is truly powerful stuff when you embody it. And thank you so much for listening. If you've gotten to this point, please like, subscribe. And if you want to go deeper on this subject, absolutely consider one-on-one coaching. This is for creatives and entrepreneurs who want to heal their nervous system and embody new levels of leadership, innovation, abundance. You can message me on Instagram or click the link here. Thank you so much.